Yo, what's going on, guys? And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys one of the most essential tricks when beginning your bike life journey, and that is learning how to pop a wheelie. Since it's getting around that Christmas time, I know that some of y'all will be receiving a brand new bike this year. I want to kick the new year off by learning how to wheelie so you can avoid being called a worm. I also noticed that in my previous tutorial, some of y'all commented for a better explanation, breaking it down. I know that I suck at explaining, but please bear with me. I've also received questions like, what bike is good for wheeling? What mod should I get for my bike? And what brake should I be using while I'm wheeling? And in today's video, I'm going to be covering all of that, so let's get straight to it. Starting off with the first question, which is, what bike is best to learn how to wheelie on? And as hard as it is to believe, I'm here to tell you guys the truth. There is no such thing as a perfect bike, and let me tell you why. Everybody's different, so depending on your preference on bikes, like for example, if you choose to have a stainless steel built bike, which is much more heavier than an aluminum built bike, I think it'll differ on the time it'll take you to learn how to pop it up. But it also depends on if you're heavy footed or if you're light footed. But my personal choice, I love riding a Mafia bike. I have two of them. I have a 29-inch pink Bomber and a 27.5 Chunky, both of which are heavy frames. I personally like that because it's not as heavy as most people might think it is, but it's like a evenly balanced heavy, where as if I put a certain amount of force, it's easier for me to find my balance point. But that's just me. While this doesn't necessarily apply to everybody, height can play a role when selecting a bike. So if you're between like 5'4" to 5'5", I suggest you guys to buy a 27.5 kind of bike. But if you're 5'6" and up, I suggest you get a 29-inch bike. And I know that some of your friends might be disagreeing with me right now, but let's face the truth. If you really think about it, just because a certain type of bike frame or a certain type of bike brand suited your friend or somebody that you might know, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for you. So I suggest you experiment with different kinds of bikes if you have friends that have a different kind of bike, so you can get a gist of what type of bike you end up wanting to get. And if you already have a bike, then good. You're one step ahead of learning how to wheelie. So let's move on to the second step, which is finding out what kind of brakes you should be using when learning. If your bike already comes with disc brakes or hydraulic brakes, I highly suggest that you invest into getting some Shimano disc brakes. Or if you have a pad brake bike, I highly suggest getting some quick stops. And you might be asking, well, what's the difference between the brakes? But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you buy a fresh new bike, it doesn't always come with the best brakes, even if they're disc brakes, unless they already come with Shimano's. But I suggest you really do get better brakes when learning, so that it's less likely for you to fall on your back and it's more likely to give you confidence in popping it up. The second step is making some adjustments. And what I mean by that is, when you're preparing to learn how to wheelie, you also have to be comfortable with your bike. So let me show you. If you're short like me, you'll need to tilt your bars back a little further than usual to help you comfortably use your brakes. If you're taller with longer arms, you would only need to tilt them slightly or to your liking, so long as you're able to reach the brake on time. Another adjustment that you must do is raise your seat higher than usual and tilt your seat downwards, so when you're wheeling, you do not slip and fall back. This is just a suggestion, but you could also invest into getting a better seat that has more grip, that's made of suede, or like Ride Out Supply seats, which are really good, but it's up to you. Learning how to wheelie is very essential if you ever plan in the future to learn those crazy tricks such as combos, swerves, and anything else that might come along the way with the bike life journey. But yeah. Now that you guys have a place to practice, I'm going to be teaching y'all all of the techniques. The overall summary of doing a wheelie consists of going at a moderate speed, putting your chest over the bar while pushing down with your dominant foot on the pedal,
releasing all of your body weight back while lightly tapping the brake. Let me show you an example. So what you're first gonna wanna do is go at a decent pace. And what I mean by that is not going not too fast, but not too slow either. Just go like a really decent pace. It really doesn't matter. And then you're gonna bring your chest over the bar. Once you bring your chest over the bar with your dominant foot, since I'm a righty, I'm gonna push down hard with my foot, and bring your chest over the bar, and then releasing all of your body weight back. It should look like that. So let me show you again. With my dominant foot, pulling down on the pedal, bringing my chest over the bar, and releasing all of my body weight back. And always remember that you tap the brakes so you don't fall back when doing this. And don't worry, this is just an example. I have some exercises prepared for y'all so that you guys can practice it. So it'll be easier and faster for you guys to learn how to wheelie. One of the first exercises that I want you guys to practice before attempting an actual wheelie is called baby lifts. And what that looks like is basically like if you're gonna go into a wheelie, but not quite. But I want you guys to practice this exercise before jumping into anything else so that you guys can get a feel for what it's going to be like when you're actually wheeling, and to help you get over any fears you might face or any troubles you might face along the way when learning. I want y'all to practice this exercise a bunch of times so that there's no misleading you to thinking you can't wheelie or making you want to quit when learning how to wheelie, and then also so you don't end up getting hurt in the long run. But yeah, please, and I emphasize this a lot, please practice, practice, practice. So start off by doing this. Go at a moderate speed, and you can either do a count in your head or go into it whenever you feel like it. But if you're doing a count in your head, I recommend you guys doing a 5 count. So when you're at your 5th count, you bring your chest over the bar, and then going into your 6th count, you push down, releasing the chest, pulling all of your body weight back at the same time, and then tapping the brake, going straight down. But when you're practicing this, please, please, please try your best to find your seat and try to sit on it. And if you can't, it's fine, but it all comes with practice. Some of y'all might get the fear out of the way, and some might be fearing that they might fall back, which is okay. So it's okay if your attempts look something like this. But just keep in mind that you guys must try to at least find your seat and sit on it for at least a second so that you guys can move on to the next exercise, which is going to be half wheelies. I highly recommend you guys moving on to this exercise when you guys are 100% with your ability to locate your seat and sit on it for at least 2 seconds, and then slightly gotten over the fear of doing this. What this is going to look like is using all of the steps mentioned before, which is going at a moderate speed, bringing your chest over the bar with your dominant foot pushing down, at the same time releasing all of your body weight back, leaning all the way back, and tapping the brake, making sure that you don't fall back. But please make sure that your seat is raised higher than usual so it's easier for you to find your balance point and it's easy for you to locate your seat when you're trying to sit down. The only reason why I don't have mine's raised high is because I'm already used to it, but don't worry, I was once in your shoes, so I promise you guys are gonna get it. The overall goal of this exercise is so that you guys get comfortable with your brakes and learning your brake control, which is an essential component when learning how to wheelie, because this was gonna keep your wheel up. Another thing I want you guys to understand is that when learning this trick, it's highly possible that you guys might fall for whatever reason. Everybody falls. There is nobody that you can't tell me that knows how to wheelie that has not fallen. But if you do, just get back up and keep practicing, and I promise you guys will progress. I don't say this to scare y'all. I'm just saying what is expected of this, because a lot of people don't like to say that. Remember, fear is only an illusion built to challenge you psychologically. So it's only really up to you of how bad you want it. Sorry for the last minute change of sceneries. I just didn't want to be around all of the noise, so I came here to a different lot. But yeah, and now I'm going to be showing you guys what a half wheelie looks like so that you guys can get the gist of what it should look like when you're attempting this. By this part of the video, you should have already gotten somewhat most of the fear out of the way before attempting this, because it's technically considered a wheelie, but just without pedaling. So now I'll be showing you guys what a half wheelie looks like. Let's go. finish off the video, I'm gonna be explaining the final step to learning how to wheelie, which is to consistently keep pedaling, and which a lot of people have trouble doing so. By this part of the video, you guys should have already gotten over that fear of doing it or attempting it, finding your balance point and somewhat brake control. So let's go. So starting off, we're going to be using all of the previous steps mentioned before, which is the count or without, using your dominant foot to push down and leaning all the way back, pulling your bike with you, and then slamming the brakes. Well, not slamming the brakes, but just slightly feathering it. Should look something like this. Notice how I'm feathering my brakes little by little, like I'm slowly tapping it like really rapidly. Look, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. The pedaling part you shouldn't have any fear with, because at the end of the day, like, that's what's gonna keep your wheel up. Not just your balance leaning back, but you yourself pedaling as well to keep that balance going. Let's try it one more time. Go at a moderate speed. Bring your chest over the bar with your dominant foot pushed down, pulling back at the same time and feathering your brakes. Moderate speed, dominant foot pushed down, bar over the chest, pull back at the same time, feather your brake. Moderate speed, bar over the chest, dominant foot, pull back, keep pedaling, feathering the brake. Another tip that I forgot to tell you guys, when you guys are feathering your brakes, make sure that you feather them like this. Not just like that, but just feather them like that. Okay, I'm gonna be giving you guys my POV. Hopefully this helps you guys better see it. But yeah, like I said, go at a moderate speed, 5 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then before going to your 6, make sure you push down with your dominant foot, chest over the bar, and then whenever you feel ready, let me do the 5 count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull down and pull back at the same time, and feather the brake. Feather the brake like that, like so. All right, again, chest over the bar, dominant foot pulled down and lean all the way back, push and brake. All right guys, one more time, moderate speed, chest over the bar, push down with your dominant foot, at the same time pull back and lean back and feather the brake. Feathering the brake. Make sure you're feathering the brake like so. All right guys, before ending the video, I'm gonna give you guys a little motivation so that you guys can learn how to wheelie, of tricks aside from wheeling that you can do when you first learn how to wheelie. So let me show you the peg whip, and then the knee knock, crisscross, with foot drag. Another thing you guys can do, another trick, death spin. Let me retry that. There you go. Tap dancing. All comes from just learning the first trick ever. If you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this answered some of your questions, and if not, please drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to reply to it whenever I can. And another thing, I hope that this made sense, and if not, I can always redo it. Just make sure you comment down below and let me know how I did. Please make sure that you are liked and subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you guys don't miss another one of my videos, because I am going to be posting more tutorials such as how to peg wheelie, how to one-hand wheelie, how to combo, so on and so forth. So long as you guys ask for it, then I'll do it. But yeah, also Don't fall for those scams of people who sell courses to learn these tricks or to learn anything about bikes when you can learn it here for free. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon.